The big advantage of PKE is its cost. It's readily available and it can be handled in bulk. And these qualities have really made it attractive to New Zealand farmers. The PKE was hardly known 10, 12 years ago, and almost none came into the country. Then each year it has steadily increased year by year by year, and we've cracked the 1 million tonnes, and this last year we imported 1.4 million tonnes. Now, that is far, far more than any other feed that we are buying in. Some farmers will feed a little bit of molasses, other farmers will feed a little bit of copra meal. There's a little bit of something called dried distiller grains, but PKE, that's the big one. And I would have to say that whereas before, in the times of drought or snowstorms, farmers would have to get rid of their animals. They would have to sell their animals because the grass wasn't growing fast enough. Now with supplementary food, the farmers can be more productive because they can keep these animals, the same number of animals, for longer throughout the year. One of the results of that is that New Zealand is free from many agricultural pests and diseases. And because we're an agricultural trading nation, it's very important to us to keep it that way. That's why biosecurity is critically important in New Zealand. So whether it is a traveller coming from overseas to New Zealand, or whether it is a shipload of PKE, that border control is very strict. So we, as far as PKE is concerned, we do this in a few different ways. One is the shipment must be fumigated before it leaves Malaysia. The next one is at the border control, the PKE is inspected to make sure there are no biosecurity hazards. Samples are taken. The sorts of things we are concerned about are viable seeds, any animal products, anything like that which is new to the country and we don't want it. And so far I'd have to say that it's working. We have not had problems with new biosecurity hazards coming from the PKE. Why is this? I'd suggest it is several reasons. The main one, I think, is that when the PKE comes from an oil expeller, and it comes out at about 70 or 80 degrees, it comes out hot. So any biosecurity hazard, bacteria or something like that, will have been destroyed in the process. Secondly, New Zealand is importing ISO 9000 registered product. So in other words, the quality standards have been monitored all the way through. So, and those combined with our border control people mean that it is fine. It is true that amongst our environmental NGOs, they are concerned about PKE. They are concerned about biodiversity and destroying rainforests and so on. But the reality is that the farmers want the PKE. It makes good business sense to import it, and increasingly PKE is coming from sustainable plantations. I don't think that any move to labelling product free from palm oil is going to be successful in New Zealand. I know there are issues in France on this just now, and I know there is one product in New Zealand that was being labelled as free from palm oil. It was a margarine, and this was a way of showing, a way of trying to get some increased value. It was a margarine made from rice bran oil. But in very recent times, this advertising has been discontinued. So palm oil in New Zealand, I think, is not a problem. It's rather interesting that food labelling laws are getting more and more complex, and you'll have seen that in Malaysia too, where now you not only have to have the list of the ingredients, you have to have some nutritional statement, you have to have some allergen statement. And it has always intrigued me that in New Zealand, and some other countries too, we never say palm oil. We always describe it as vegetable oil. And it seems to me that is more of a defensive way. It's a way of saying it's palm oil, but we don't want to call it palm oil. And my approach to that is to come out positively and think of all the good things about palm oil, because nutritionally palm oil is good, health-wise it's good, it's got the right composition of fatty acids, so why not say it's palm oil? The people that have got olive oil in their products very proudly say olive oil and get a premium. So I believe with the right marketing and the right PR, palm oil will be seen to be a plus and not a minus. You can say where there is smoke, there is fire, and I'm sure there are some problems, but it's not fair to tar everybody with the same brush. I do think that the environmental NGOs have been very skilled and very successful at putting their message out, and it has caused the palm oil industry to be on the back foot, to be more defensive. I'd like to see the palm oil industry be more proactive and to be positive about the product that they are selling. And the way forward with that is to firstly continue the good work with developing sustainable plantations and sustainable processing, and then to talk about and to highlight the nutritional benefits and all the good things and the micronutrients that are in palm oil.